Good afternoon, and what is a cool, grey and cloudy day. It is Tuesday the 4th of July. I've got a nice hot cup of tea and some boxes to unbox. This larger box here. Got a knife to it. Almost cut myself with a knife. Don't want to be foolish. There we go. I think it's getting caught up in the tape there. And what I have got here is a copy of 5 Minute Dungeon, which is basically designed by Connor Reed and Alex Diacon. Can't see who it's by, it doesn't say, but let's find out. Let's open up, let's see what we've got inside. And it's all over the place. It's a bit all over the place. So let me just tidy this up because the cards are slipped everywhere. Now I would normally have something for you to read out on the back, but essentially here we've got the rule book, and here's what you have inside. There we go. Not going to tip that any further because I know what I'm like. This will go everywhere. But what you have in this game is a Dungeon Bash game in which every game is designed to be played in 5 minutes. You've got the instructions. Welcome to 5 Minute Dungeon. In this game, you will join forces with your fellow players to fight your way through 5 dungeons filled with deadly obstacles and dangerous monsters. You choose to play as one of 10 heroes, each with their own special cards and abilities. In 5 Minute Dungeon, there are no turns. Everyone will be racing against the clock to slap down symbols that match the current card from the dungeon. You all in it together. Either your party defeats the dungeon and moves on to the next one, or you all perish. Good luck. And that's it. So that's a nice explanation of the game. There's a timer app which comes with multiple voices. And then we get into how to set up. How to prepare the dungeon, basically building it through with challenges and matching the symbols. So as you can see, you can defeat a Dora card by playing resource cards into the centre of the table until all the symbols are matched. Okay, they don't have to come from the same player. So you'll have monsters with, like, for example, with those 2 symbols, and you're playing cards from your hand to defeat it. Then you pull out another creature and carry on. Essentially, when defeating door cards by matching symbols using action cards, any player may throw cards down. And essentially, once you've all done that, you sweep the cards away, go on to the next. Every player has special characters, special abilities, and you've got essentially cards. These here, which I'll show you in a moment, have their own discard and draw piles. Essentially, you've got a guide to refilling your hands, what to do when you run out of cards. Essentially, you run out of cards, you draw the pile. We can't do anything until one of the following cards comes back into the game. Using special abilities, because every character has a special ability as well. How to win and how to lose. So you win, defeat all the door cards, challenge cards, and the baby barbarian. You have conquered the first dungeon. Congratulations. And essentially, then you fight through 4 more dungeons and ultimately defeat the dungeon master to win the game. And losing if time runs out before you and your party defeat the dungeon boss, or if all players run out of cards, or if your party is unable to match the symbols in the dungeon and cannot use basically an ability to defeat it. But later about the timer again. Definitely want you to use the timer, and the game plays much better with the timer. Then we've got discussion of what hunter. Basically, the heroes are. So you've got sorceress and wizard, hunter and ranger, ninja and thief, barbarian and gladiator, paladin and Valkyrie, and it's essentially just telling you which decks to use, the hero decks, some background for the characters, sorceress and wizard, paladin and Valkyrie, and so on, barbarian and gladiator, explaining what the special cards in their decks do, going through bit by bit, and then describing, essentially explaining the dungeon, the dungeon itself, the boss mats, the door cards. You saw that card earlier, and those are the threats that will need to be addressed directly. Challenge cards are a bit different, and this is basically the publisher. It's Wiggles 3D, okay. And let's have a look at the let's have a look at the characters as well. So as you can see, you have there's the Valkyrie and the Paladin. So the Valkyrie, for example, inspired. Discard 3 cards to make everyone else draw 2 cards. Whilst on the Paladin, Smite. Discard 3 cards to defeat a monster. As you can see, each one's got a discard pile and a draw pile, an explanation of the special ability, and that sits in front of you. And the thing is, what the option here is this, okay? So you have different characters, okay? Now, obviously, the thing is that the gender is obviously obvious here, so that's male, that's female. What it means is if you don't, I don't want to play a male character, I can play a female character, and so on, and it's giving you the options there. You want different representation. Thief, discard 3 cards to draw up to 5 cards. Discard 3 cards to defeat an obstacle. That's the ninja. We have a barbarian. Discard 3 cards to defeat a monster. Bit of a repeat of the paladin. Gladiator, discard 3 cards to defeat a person. And these will all be in the decks. Ranger, trick shot, discard 3 cards to defeat a person. So so there is some doubling up of abilities. Huntress as animal companion, discard 3 cards to choose another place to draw 4 cards. So you can. The other thing you can do here is you can mix and match abilities. So you don't all have the same. Sorceress, teleport, discard 3 cards to defeat an obstacle. While the wizard is discard 3 cards to pause time until someone plays a card. So you don't want to take characters who can all sort of like discard 3 cards to defeat a monster. That's a useful ability, but you need a mix. So you've got the options there. Below that we have the different end of level bosses. So boss 1 is the baby boss. And you've got to get all of those onto the table in front to defeat it before the timer runs out. Same again for basically Grim Reaper, Zola the Gorgon, a freaking dragon, and the Dungeon Master. Looking across between sort of like the Dungeon Master and Orko from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. The Kick 9000. And the Dungeon Master Final Form. And this being the Kickstarter edition, you do actually get a baby boss, the baby barbarian figure to defeat and put that on the table. That's the only one they did that for, but that's fine. So you've got the cards, like that. These are the obstacles, monsters, another monster. Some of these are harder than others. So we just basically flip through, see if I can find a person, a gaggle of screaming children. There's a lot of sense of humour in here as well. This is why it's such a fun game, because it's taken the whole dungeon ideas and sort of giving you a bit of a humorous twist. like, you know, a terrible, no good, awful puppet show. And the problem is, a part of this is essentially is this comes out, and you don't have time. You know, it's the instant sort of like hits the table. You go, okay, deal with it now. But you don't have any choice to really look at it. And it's like it's just hitting you, going, that's funny. You don't get time to really laugh before you've defeated it, and you're on to the next. And then essentially every deck. So this is the yellow deck, which is going to be the Paladin and Valkyrie, and the decks are slightly skewed. So you've got, you know, arrow cards, scroll cards, divine shield, pause time until someone plays a card, all players draw a card, and so on. Movement. So we've got melee, and then protection. So protection. But if you have a look, I'll just fan those out. You will see that the yellow deck has more yellow cards in it, obviously, because that's what it's designed to do. So yeah, this is a cooperative game designed to be played in 5 minutes or less per dungeon. And the thing is, you don't have to play it. You don't have to play it all in one go. You can go, okay, we've played this. We've defeated that dungeon. Let's, we can just have this works as sort of like a nice filler game. It's literally 5 minutes per game. You could easily play through all 5 dungeons in about half an hour, or you could just play one dungeon to see whether you can defeat it. So yeah, that's a 5-minute dungeon. Came out in 2017, something like that. This is the Kickstarter edition. Really pleased to get hold of this. It's a really fun game. It's a really nice blast of a game. Lots of energy because you are literally trying to get through it in 5 minutes. So yeah, 5-minute dungeon. Thoroughly recommend this if you can find a copy. It deserves a place in your gaming collection because it's a game like no other. Anyway, thanks for watching another unboxing Nook. If you enjoyed this, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post that. And lastly, if you want to be able to see more unboxings Nook, where you will see me out here with a box containing a book or game which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing the Nook. I will be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.